Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Color X Malice and Okazaki's route. That's basically all I have to say to start this one. So anyway, we just went and saw Ogata and yada yada, and Okazaki walked us home as usual, and now it's the next day. So the next day, I decided I'd go to Rika Sugawara's residence under the guise of a patrol again, but Mochita was next to me. And so was Okazaki for some reason. Hey, Hoshino, what's going on? Mochita approached me with a confused expression. I'm not sure myself. I'm not sure myself. Awkward laugh. Hello, I'm Kei Okazaki from the security division. Okazaki grinned as usual, not seeming to read the situation. So, I made your SP, right? How does Hoshino know you? Well, well, a lot has happened. A lot? What's that? A lot. I see. He's pressuring Mochita. More importantly, it looks like you look after Spacey every day. I wanted to thank you for doing that. Huh? Well, you see, what kind of greeting was that? Is he acting like a relative or something? I definitely know Mochita much longer than Okazaki. I didn't know if Okazaki was doing this on purpose, but it was confusing. Oh, no, don't mention it. Wait, what's your relationship to Hoshino? Relationship? I have a bad feeling about this. We're, just acquaintances. Oh, that sounds so dirty. We only met a few days ago, but we've gotten close really fast, right? Okazaki, don't put it like that. Really fast? I see. She's been very friendly with me. That sounds even worse. I see. That's good, I guess. This is just like earlier with Sakuragawa. He's completely misunderstanding. I think Okazaki likes that, though. He's conning us into a relationship. Like, everybody thinks we're a relationship, so I guess we are. I guess I have no choice. No! I'll be going out with her on patrol. I look forward to working together. Wait, what? Hoshino, what's that mean? All I can do is mislead him by laughing. It all started earlier this morning. Interesting. Okay. We've identified the burn victim. Atsushi Kiga? Age 36. Who is he? Wait a minute. Atsushi Kiga. Is he in this? I just want to see something. If he's one of the... No, go back. I actually clicked the wrong button. I thought he was... That name seems familiar, but maybe that's because they've mentioned it before. Because he is not, like, one of, like, the characters that you're ever going to see. They must have just mentioned the name before. Kiga just sounds familiar to me. Anyway. He has a record, multiple stalking incidents against women, and convictions for sexual assault of victims unable to give consent. He sounds like a winner. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison, finished his sentence half a year ago. The victim was a stalker, which made him related to the July homicide. Or makes him. Rika Sugawara could be brought in for questioning today. I have to go see her. Once she was under investigation HQ's control, it would be difficult to meet with her. What did Okazaki tell you, dumb fuck? Don't do it. Don't be stupid. I didn't intend to obstruct the investigation. For some reason, I couldn't let this go. There was no doubt that Rika Sugawara held the key linking the stalking incidents. You'd be contacting a likely criminal and clouding up an investigation of a case you're not on. This is basically aiding and abetting. And this won't end with your secret investigation. If this blows over, you get fired at best. At worst, you get locked up alongside her. It'll be all right, I know. Going to see her today. I am. I'll be okay. I won't do anything crazy. Look, the typing is like falling off the page. It's pretty funny. I'm coming with you. But you have your job. I told you, right? Let me protect you. What now? Honestly, the chances were high that Rika Sugawara was involved in some form. I had to be careful in case the darkest scenario came to pass. It would be a relief if Okazaki was with me. Can I ask you to do that? Of course! We're on friendly terms now, so obviously I want to help. And I love you. That's what he meant. That's what that said. Friendly. In Okazaki's mind, we were apparently now friendly with each other. He wants to get friendly with you. I have seen him quite a lot over the past few days. I was bewildered, but there was a happiness inside me that I couldn't hide. When I read his message, it unconsciously made me relax. We still didn't know each other very well, but it made me happy to know that he considered us to be on good terms. Maybe I'm a little embarrassed. Thank you. See you soon. I don't know what's going on here, but we'd appreciate SP assistance. Don't be rude to him, Oshino. Yes, sir. We're friendly. Why would I be rude to him? Maybe that's how he likes it, Mochita. Jesus. And, Assistant Inspector Okazaki, thank you for your help. I felt terrible seeing Mochita have to humble himself like that. Now that I think about it, Okazaki was an SP officer from Central HQ, so his jurisdiction superseded ours. His rank was Assistant Inspector. Maybe I had been acting a bit too casually toward him around the office. I want to get along with you, Mochita. You're Spacey's superior, after all. Think nothing of it, sir. You honor me. Mochita, I'm so sorry. I mentally apologized. When we arrived at Rika Sugawara's apartment, I took deep breaths to calm myself down. Mochita stood by the building's entrance. Okazaki was lurking in the shadows down the hall, just in case something happened. He concealed himself at a distance that was just far enough away that he could still hear what was going on. I checked that we were ready and then rang the doorbell. Sugawara came out when she saw that it was me on the monitor. Thank you for the other day. I wanted to talk today. It's about time you came. Huh? Something was wrong. She was in uncannily good mood. So we get a bad ending. I saw the news. You ID'd the burn victim from yesterday. She seemed quite happy about this news. Do you know what that man did? He wasn't just your standard creep. He went through women's trash, took private photos, and even opened their mail. Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's creepy and all, but he's also sexually assaulted people, so I mean, that's just... Opening my mail is creepy, but, like, sexually assaulting me is, like, fucking way beyond over the line. I mean, opening my mail is also a federal offense. Maybe not in Japan, but it totally is here, so anyway. He used listening devices to record every detail of their lives, and then sent them those tapes. That's creepy as fuck. And then he'd spread his bodily fluids on their front doors, leaving behind some of the photos he'd taken as a complimentary gift. Okay, I'm gonna gag. Because you know what she's talking about. Look, I took some photos of me. Ah! What? Nobody saw. Oh, what did you do? Bottle it up and then splash it on her door? Because, like, were you just standing on her door? Oh my god, I'm gonna gag. He posted their personal details on the internet and called their workplaces posing as an older man having affairs with them. Oh, that's creepy as fuck. Oh, and he also loved to send tons and tons of harassing letters. Letters filled with cheap words of love. Still a slight step. The love letters, cheap words of love is still a step above a dick pic. Just saying. Did that happen to you too? She answered me with a smile. I knew it. I grew tense as I connected the dots in my head. If she had been harassed by Kiga, yesterday's burn victim, then that would definitely link her to both the arson murder and to the crime in July. In other words, she was with Adonis. That man saved me. He brought an end to the days I spent crying and running from my problems. I don't remember if this is the voice I gave her the last time, but whatever. So the man you love is... Oh, did you find someone special? Eh? I was taken aback by her sudden off-topic question. Rika Sugawara squinted at me for a while. Then she smiled. Yes, that must be it. You've changed somehow. You see, he's my first love. That's why I was afraid of him as I was happy. Hey, what's your beloved like? How do you feel when you think about him? Sugawara blushed as she asked me. She looked kind of like she was a schoolgirl gossiping. Clearly, this conversation was going nowhere. Maybe she was caught up in her obsession because her demeanor had completely changed from earlier. She sidled up to me with a friendly look. This could be my chance to get intel from her. Well, the guy I like. Save. This is where we get a bad ending, so we're going to do our bad ending like usual. We're going to scroll down here, save here. Yes, okay, back, okay. So, I got to scroll down to our bad endings. Even though I know we do, I can't lie to her. If I lie, she might see through my lie immediately. The situation had gotten needlessly complicated. No, right now I don't have anyone special like that. She's going to instantly stab me? Like, I don't understand how this is... I'm curious to see how bad this goes. I see. Sugawara muttered in disappointment and the sparkle left her eyes. She looked away as if she'd lost all interest. There is something I'd like to discuss. At this rate, she would just shut the door in my face again without telling me anything. I desperately thought of a way to get her to divulge a good lead. She knew about Kiga. She was one of his past victims. About Kiga, you suspect me, don't you? Eh? He used to stalk me, so I would have a motive to murder him. Isn't that what you think? I don't think there's any evidence yet. You're so dumb. There's no point. Even if you find evidence or arrest me, you cops would just be dancing in the palm of his hand. Wait, are you part of Adonis? Please answer me honestly. Were you threatened by Adonis? You're a victim. If you tell the police your full story, I'm sure they'll... What's this? Finally feeling sorry for me? You, the cops, the same people that just made fun of me and said I was being overly sensitive and self-conscious. Don't screw with me. No, I just think that if you're suffering... Pretty empty words. You make me nauseous. And you think Adonis threatened me? Don't spit on the name of my beloved. What could you possibly understand? You think you know what we have together. So she's in love with Adonis. Or Zero, you know. Calm down. That's right. I wonder if Zero would be happy if I killed off one of the police pests here. Sugawara smiled suddenly, and she reached for something under her skirt. I saw a silver glint of light. It happened so fast I was unable to react. She attacked, swinging the knife downward at my neck. At my neck. Die for the love between Zero and I! Her attack was on target, but the pain never came. Instead, my shirt collar was shredded. What's that? Why do you have that collar? Are you one of the targets? I realized too late that the collar was exposed. That wasn't important now, though. I had to disarm her now. Or are you a comrade? No one told me this. Did Zero give you that? He made an exception for a cop? You're not part of the countdown, are you? So why? Your hands aren't dirty. Why you? Just hold on. I don't know what you... Lies! You're lying! Zero chose me! I stepped back in confusion. I had no idea what she was rambling about. Suddenly, Sugawara clutched her head in her hands and squatted down, moaning. What? Zero, are you angry? I'm sorry. Please don't be mad at me. Please. She's one of ours, right? She's important to you, isn't she? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I'll kill her for you, right now. She was attacking me again with the knife faster than I could have imagined. Where the fuck is Okazaki? The second he saw her attack me, he should have jumped out and fucking kicked her ass. I don't understand. I squeezed my eyes shut. But there was only a sound of a body being shoved and nothing impacted my body. Okay, it took him long enough. I timidly opened my eyes. Sugawara was sprawled on the floor and Okazaki was standing next to her. Thank you, Okazaki. I patted my chest in relief. I started to approach him. Uh-oh. Freeze. Huh? Move and I'll shoot. What are you talking about? Oh, because we have a collar on. Okazaki. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Okazaki had drawn his gun and slowly trained it on me. Why? That's my line. You were on her side. No! She's crazy! From what I heard, it just sounded like two allies fighting amongst one another. That's not... Are you part of Adonis? What do you know about X-Day? Are you an enemy of the police? I wanted to scream in denial, but I had a feeling that he would only view whatever I said as excuses. Is Okazaki gonna kill me? I told you he was gonna get shooty. And it doesn't matter if it's because he's misunderstanding the situation. He's still gonna fucking kill us. Worst of all, the collar had been exposed, so I tensed up in anticipation of a lethal injection. My mind was in chaos. It's all gone wrong. At this rate, I didn't think I could convince Okazaki now. Now that he knew about the collar, I'd be executed if I tried to explain. Then, I have no choice. At my wit's end, I started running. I decided the only option was to retreat. Eh? Suddenly, my feet stopped moving. I didn't stop of my own will. I had been rendered physically unable to move. He'd literally fucking killed us. My legs went weak and I fell to the ground. I'd come to the realization that I'd just been shot. Damn, Okazaki. The look on his... Okay, I'm sorry. But he's literally just shot us and the look on his face is ridiculously sexy. Like, what the fuck? They always look so beautiful when they murder us. By none other than Okazaki. Okazaki... I told you not to move. I just took away your ability to escape. It isn't a critical wound. His indifferent tone was like a cold knife in my heart. The bullet had only grazed my leg, but that didn't lessen the shock. He'd actually pulled the trigger. Spacey Hoshino, you're under arrest for inciting and aiding criminal insurrection. Wait! Okazaki, please, listen to me! That would be a Oh. That would be a problem, Mr. Okazaki. Monokuma? We cannot allow you to capture her and learn of her situation. A voice from the collar. She's very important to us. Harm her and there'll be grave consequences in kind. I see. So this is how you've been getting your orders. That's not true, Okazaki. Ignore the warning you've been given, and you will regret it. She ignored my question and tried to run. That was her answer. If she has some circumstances she can't tell me, then she'll just have to tell the police. It isn't my job to listen to what she has to say. His voice was icy and indifferent. I felt cold blood running down my legs. Then... I see. That is truly a shame. I felt a sharp pain in my neck. It's over. Okazaki literally killed us. Before my vision faded, I had a thought. But maybe this was for the best. It was far better for me to die from poison than to have those cold eyes and Okazaki's gun pointed at me. Huh? Better than being his target to be eliminated. Better than seeing him as a frightening predator. Now, it would be like this had never happened. What have you done? Hey, snap out of it! You're so weird. He really was a strange one, worrying about the woman he just pointed a gun at. It's already over. It had all been pointless. How absurd. I wanted to laugh, but my consciousness was slipping into nothingness. He literally got us killed. I don't care if he didn't pull the trigger. He got us killed. That was great. So we know what a cold son of a bitch Okazaki is. I'm gonna protect you. Oh, you see the collar and you instantly think I'm a criminal. Kind of a dick move, right? All right, anyway, so we're gonna go right back to... Well, the guy I like... He's very reliable. Is he now? I just said the first thing that came to my mind, but Sugawara giggled innocently. Hey, want to talk somewhere else? There aren't men nearby, are there? Well... Hesitating, I glanced toward where Okazaki was hiding, but nothing happened. He should tail us without letting himself be noticed. Thinking that, I nodded. Sugawara guided me through the back door of the apartment complex. I figured Okazaki would explain things to Mochida. I couldn't let this chance escape now that I had gotten Sugawara to be more positive. Should have. Well, my partner is outside in the front, but if we go around the back, he won't notice us. Over here! We walked through several narrow paths in a residential area till we finally arrived at a park. At a park. I can still remember it clearly. The park where I was murdered. Crimson flames. We've also been murdered here. I mean, obviously, not this path, and, she doesn't remember that because other alternate reality. Anyway, a still blackened figure, withering heat. Have a seat on this bench. Sugawara shouldn't have known what had happened here, but she calmly sat down on the exact bench. A man had burned to death here yesterday. She shouldn't have known? No, she should have known because she lives next door. The police cordon had already been removed, but it was still being patrolled by the police. Why did she bring me here? I was bewildered, but I sat down next to her. It would be difficult for Okazaki to eavesdrop on us here, no matter where he had hidden himself. I hope this all works out. I've never traded love stories before. I told you this was my first love, right? Would you listen to my story? Well, love stories? A potential murderer was getting excited about gossiping with me in a park. This was all too surreal. I'd be like, well, I mean, I don't really know that it's love yet. It's so new. But I'd totally love to hear your story. Relax. I have to stay calm and coax out her story. Whenever I think about him, I can just throw out my entire life before I met him. From the bottom of my heart, I felt like I was born just for him. I feel like I could do anything for his sake. What's he like? Well, he's kind. Actually, I don't know him that well, but that's okay. I know we were meant to be. She's fucking crazy. She's never met him. She's only heard a voice in her head that sounds like Monokuma. After all, to me he's a god. In what way is he kind? He sympathized with my sorrow. At first, he didn't grasp how badly I'd been hurt. I doubted that words could get him to understand, but then I found out I was wrong. He knew exactly how I felt, all of my sadness and suffering. He broke down and wept for me, like my wounds were his own. Don't give up. Don't be afraid. You don't have to be sad anymore. He gave me strength. You've been through a lot. Yeah, but none of that stuff matters anymore, though. I felt like the world was against me every day. Do you know that this is where the man burned to death yesterday? Yes, I do. That man I mentioned, Kiga, he confessed his love to many women. He loved them so badly he wanted to kill them. Isn't that bizarre? How can he love so many people that much? His love was self-serving and shallow, but he couldn't be allowed to just keep doing that, could he? Day after day, he watched me wherever I went. He'd post everything I did online and write letters about how much he loved me. No matter how many times I moved, no matter how many times I told the cops, he kept coming. Sugawara's voice grew increasingly grim. I could hear the madness seeping into her voice as she relived her past fears. Just listening to this is painful. Even Ogata must have felt the same massive sense of despair. And someone had taken advantage of it. Adonis, probably. You're a victim. You deserve sympathy for everything that happened to you in the past. So don't add anything else into the list of what you've... Hey, so what about the guy you like? Eh? You said he was reliable. What else do you like about him? Sugawara wasn't paying any attention to me. No, she's pretending she didn't hear me. She had brought me here on purpose, meaning she was probably ready to be arrested. She wasn't even trying to hide her involvement with the murder. Or maybe she knew that there was no possibility she could escape it. She could also be allowing herself to be captured on Adonis's orders. Hey, are you listening? We're here to trade love stories, aren't we? The sight of Sugawara acting like a girl in love made my chest tighten. She had committed sins to defy her tragic past. She was even prepared to be caught. And now she was acting like she had recovered a long-lost treasure. It was impossible not to feel for her. The guy is a very strong man. There was no such person, but I spun a tale to satisfy her request. Okazaki suddenly came to mind. Of course, I didn't feel that way about him. Yeah, I'm thinking you do a little bit. But he wanted to help, and I felt better when he was around. And sometimes he made me anxious. His feelings sounded similar to hers. There are times when I don't know what he's thinking, but he's very gentle. He's always concerned for my sake. When I'm lost, he doesn't just encourage me, he shows me where I need to go. He's a good man. Yes, he has incredible focus on his goals. He's strong. Actually, I didn't know what Okazaki wished for, but I knew that once he decided on something, he was stubborn and unyielding. It's only been a few days, but I guess I've learned a few things about him. That's wonderful. I hope your romance goes well. Thank you. Miss Sugawara, how are things progressing with your partner? Progress? Well, if possible, I'd like to die with him. What? Her muttered reply was full of affection and sadness. It's getting cold. Let's head back. Okay. Sugawara quickly rose, and I hurriedly followed her. I still hadn't gotten her to tell me anything that could be used as a solid lead. I also hadn't thought of any way to convince her to stop. On the way back to Sugawara's home, I thought about how to solve this. So she really was one of Kiga's stalking victims. She was holding a piece of paper that was like the ones I had seen burning around the dead body. The answer came naturally when I pieced together all the fragments of information I had so far. In the past, she received that note from the stalker Kiga. She should have been safe once Kiga was arrested, but then another stalker targeted her, Shimizu, which, if you think about it, Kiga's posting all this stuff around, right? He gets arrested, but Shimizu's a creepy creeper who's probably, because he's posting it on the internet, posting pictures of them and blah, blah, blah. So, of course, it's like a stalker ring. You know what I mean? Like, here's the chicks I'm stalking, here's all these things I know. People are like, oh, I like her, I'm gonna go stalk her too. And like, you know everything about them because this other stalker's posting them online and like, it's fucking crazy. On top of all that, she felt cornered once Kiga was released. Sorry. I couldn't pretend not to see it anymore. While I didn't know if she directly participated in the killing, she was undoubtedly a suspect. That was fun. Thanks for coming with me. Oh, not at all. I don't think that we'll be seeing each other again, but I'll be rooting for your love. With that, she started to re-enter her apartment. But please wait. What? Now isn't the time to fuss over decorum. This is what I should do. I wanted to protect those who'd been hurt. I just couldn't compromise on that. I don't care if I lose my job. Before I knew it, I'd already asked the question. Adonis threatened you, didn't they? You told me what happened to you. I know that you're not trying to run away, but... As I was about to try and convince her to turn herself in, Sugawara... What are you talking about? Her demeanor abruptly changed. Me? Threatened? You were saying that he threatened me? But you could have been instigated... Cut the crap! I stiffened at the angry shriek. Her eyes were now burning with unimaginable rage. What could you possibly understand? What do you think you know about him? I haven't been threatened. I finally learned what love is like. I can finally be a normal person. Miss, I'm going to be reborn. Didn't I tell you not to get in the way of that? I thought that I could finally return to a normal life once that man was arrested, but then another one showed up. Why does this always happen to me? I just wanted to be loved by a normal person. I wanted to love someone. How do all the crazy ones come after me? Why? Tell me! Well, you're kind of a crazy one now. She probably wasn't at the time, but now she is. She's not listening anymore. I glanced down the hallway and spotted the cuff of Okazaki's uniform. I could handle a woman of her size by myself, but I need backup if she turned violent. I might need to step in if things escalated much further. But I'm not the old me anymore, because I've been reborn. My beloved needs the new me, and I'm doing my duty. Somebody finally loves me. Isn't that amazing? It's wonderful, right? Sugawara seized me by my shirt collar, her eyes bloodshot. My shirt button popped open with her sudden pull. My collar had been exposed. This is bad. But if I tell her it's just an accessory... I covered my neck in a flurry, but Sugawara was staring directly at my neck. What's that? Are you one of the targets? Huh? Were you... a comrade? No one told me this. Did Zero give you that? He made an exception for a cop? You're not part of the countdown, are you? So what? Your hands are dirty? Why you? Okay, this is not good. Because now this is the same thing that happened the last time. Just hold on. I don't know what you... Lies! You're lying! Zero chose me! I stepped back in confusion. I had no idea what she was rambling about. Uh... Suddenly, Sugawara clutched her head in her hands and squatted down, moaning. What's wrong? I rushed over, worried. She was muttering something to herself. Zero, are you angry? I'm sorry. Please don't be mad at me. Please. She's one of ours, right? She's important to you, isn't she? Miss Sugawara? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. I'll kill her for you right now. There was a sudden flash of light from above. She was swinging a knife down at me. Get down. I immediately dropped to the ground in response. There's his kick. That's the same, like CG. Okazaki had silently appeared, snapping a kick that knocked Sugawara's knife away. The knife clattered to the ground, spinning. Out of my way! Okazaki! As Sugawara recovered and advanced again, Okazaki took hold of her hand and... It all happened in an instant. The CGs of him go way too fast, though, that's all I have to say. She lost consciousness and fell to the ground. I just used a judo hold on her. Her life isn't in danger. Thank you. Did you get hurt? No, I'm fine. As I said that, I looked at Sugawara on the floor. She recognized my collar. That could only mean that she had a definite connection to Adonis. But what did she mean by comrade? And she said something about the countdown. And who's this Zero? I was confused, but I tried to maintain at least the appearance of composure. I'd be like she was talking to herself. Okazaki, arrest her for obstruction of a public servant's... But just as the words were leaving my lips, I stiffened as an unbelievable scene began to unfold before my eyes. Ah! No, don't move. Okazaki, please, this isn't the time for jokes. You should have buttoned your shirt collar. I managed to get those words out, but once I saw his eyes, I was terrified. Those were not the eyes of a man who was joking around. What is that collar? I tried to cover up my neck, but it was too late. He'd already seen everything. I heard you talking to her. She asked you if you were a comrade. That was a mistake. I frantically searched for the right words, but my thoughts were distracted by a different source of dread. Okazaki, a police officer, had learned about the existence of my collar. If the police found out, I was to be executed. No, not here. I recalled the threat I'd been issued before, and I couldn't stop myself from trembling. I had no idea when the pain of the fatal poison being injected would come. Oh. I am not a sympathizer. I'm like, but I'm not! Oh, Monokuma voice. Kei Okazaki, she's one of our sympathizers. Please do not cause her any further harm. Not quite Monokuma, but... Okazaki expressionlessly diverted his pistol's aim from me to the collar. Did that voice come from here? Spacey Hoshino, are you part of Adonis? Did you aid their crimes? Or were you just threatened into doing it? Okazaki's eyes narrowed, and his finger came to rest on the trigger of his gun. This was no joke. He'd probably shoot me without hesitation if he didn't like my answer. If I spoke the truth, I'd be poisoned to death. If I couldn't think up a convincing lie, Okazaki would shoot me. My dilemma played out in an endless mental loop, and I broke out in a cold sweat. Answer me quickly. Allow us to answer on her behalf. She is necessary to us, yet also an ally to you police officers. She is a good person. If you don't want her to die a meaningless death, we suggest that you do not speak of this matter any further. We'll not hesitate to purge her if she becomes a problem to us. The voice stopped. There was a strained silence. I stood stock still. The silence seemed to go on forever. Okazaki's pistol, the barrel never wavering, stayed trained on me. It's so sad. We were so close to being in love with him. Oh my god. Hmm. Okay, here's the thing. So we're in chapter 3 now. I'm just looking because in chapter 3 we have another bad ending, but it's 2 choices. Wait, whoops. I don't. Hold on. So I think what we'll do in this chapter when we get there, oops, we'll do the bad path with the 2 things because they're both the complete opposite answers. So, you know. I live near where that horrible incident happened. I'm afraid and I want to move, but I need help. I'd like you to find me a new residence. I apologize, miss, but that's outside of the scope of problems that the police office is able to address. It's your job to protect the citizens, isn't it? What'll you do if I get caught in one of these crimes next time? I'm very sorry. I keep hearing explosions in my head. I can't sleep. Why didn't you stop this crime? Sir, you're absolutely right. We're doing all we can to stop these crimes. Bah! Nothing but a bunch of empty words. Hurry up and fix this. I sighed helplessly as I wearily finished processing the last of the day's incessant calls from the citizens. They were all regarding the new X-Day crime that just occurred yesterday. I kept busy, but all I could think about was what had happened. So, that collar's being used to threaten you. I was trembling too much to give an answer, but I managed to nod at him. After letting out a small sigh, Okazaki quietly lowered his gun. Are the terrorists forcing you to feed them intel about the police? Even if I wasn't actively doing so, so long as I had the collar, that's what was happening. I almost started to explain, but then I swallowed my words. Right now, anything I said would just sound like an excuse. If they're threatening you, they must be holding some weakness of yours. There's a poison injector in this collar. If I tell the police, I'll be killed immediately. I felt disillusioned just saying it aloud. Up until now, I thought that I was personally key to cracking the X-Day incidents wide open, somehow. I figured that if I had a connection to the criminals behind the collar, I had a lead. But it was really just my own pride saying that. I say that I want to protect the people who have been hurt as a police officer, but I honestly just didn't want to die. It was truly the strongest motivation I had. It must be scary to be threatened with poison. And then again, it makes sense to do that. Did they do anything to you first to prove that the poison is real? Yes. They gave me a dose of slow-acting poison first. I see. That angle won't help then. His tone was sympathetic, but I thought I could see disappointment in Okazaki's eyes. Maybe I wasn't imagining it. I had no idea how he thought of me right now. But I was afraid of disappointing him. Still, I can't tell whether what you said just now is true or not. If you told me that you were a spy, I'd be just as likely to believe that too. His eyes were full of caution. Felt like they were piercing through me. I couldn't force myself to move, or to even just breathe. I'd be like, you should talk to Yanagi. Well, Yanagi is a cool guy. It's already been a week. I hadn't seen Okazaki since then. He'd always been kind and friendly to me, so maybe I'd felt dependent on him. From the start, he'd been a loyal police officer. It was reasonable for him to feel hostile towards someone that could be linked with terrorists. But if he'd actually shown me a little bit of his trust, then I had betrayed him. You're a kind and straightforward girl. Your ability to think of others' pain as your own really isn't a bad trait. But Spacey, don't forget your main duty. The time will come when you have to decide what you need to let go of, in order to get what you actually wish for. I'd been fixated on the idea of being a police officer, and he had encouraged me repeatedly. I betrayed someone who had cared so much for me. I mean, you don't really know because he was going to shoot you. Mochida had noticed the commotion after the altercation, and he and Okazaki had helped to take Sugawara into custody. Then he had left without a word about the incident. He didn't even out me to Mochida. Rika Sugawara had been arrested, not for interfering with my police duties, but as the perpetrator of the arson murder on the 8th. But during interviews, she had become frightened and distracted, vehemently insisting that she knew nothing. When I heard that, I thought something was off. According to Saraishi, during the interrogation, I don't know. I really don't know anything. Yes, it's true that I've been a stalking victim of both Shimizu and Kiga. It was frightening and disgusting, and the police wouldn't believe me. So many times that I wished for death, for peace. But I never wanted to kill either of them. That's the truth. Of course, I didn't actually kill them. That's obvious. There's no way I could do that. Not the way that I feel. There's just no way. I was always too scared. If I fought back, I could be killed. No, I'm sure I'd meet a fate worse than death. I'd live and then be locked up and tortured. Sure, it could definitely be a lot scarier than just living. But if I was killed, then all those long years I spent enduring that pain would be completely meaningless. Evidence. Adonis. Announcement. I told you I don't know anything about that. I've never even heard of those things. Please let me go home. I'm scared. I don't want this. I'm scared. Someone, anyone, help. Oh, but if I go home, then another creep will just show up and follow me again. So maybe it'd be better if I'm locked up as a criminal. That's right. My life was ruined long ago. I don't know anything, but it's fine. I don't care. Arrest me and do whatever you want. God doesn't exist. Nobody's coming to help me. I'll never love anyone. Enough already. We heard a trophy. We kept observing her, but it seems that she's not lying. Nothing she said contradicts the facts about her past stalking incidents, and she can't hide her strong feelings about the subject. What about the X-Day cases? Her insistence that she knows nothing about them is equally genuine. But when I talked to her, she wasn't even trying to hide her involvement. She visibly didn't care that she would be arrested for it. And she indicated that she knew about my collar, the countdown, this 0, and some kind of target. Most of all, she said that she'd found someone she loved, that he saved her like he was a god. That person was most likely the Adonis member who'd brought her into the fold. I hadn't sensed any dishonesty in the way she talked and acted about her beloved. But in the interview, she'd said, God doesn't exist. Nobody's coming to help me. I'll never love anyone. It's like she's a completely different person now. A different person. Well, if she said that she was fine with being captured, isn't that the right answer there? Huh? She was confident that she wouldn't leak any detailed information on Adonis after her arrest. Absolutely confident. That means her memories have been erased. July update. An incident of revenge perpetrated by Rika Sugawara due to her continued torment from her stalker. Sugawara did not actually commit the crime, but she was convinced by the terrorist organization Adonis to be an accomplice to their crimes. She lured Shimizu to the scene of his murder. Sugawara is charged with being an accomplice to murder, but during the interrogation, she exhibited signs of amnesia, making it impossible to link Ogata to Adonis for this incident. The seemingly random suggestion was hard to believe, but it was consistent with the facts. Moreover, the suspect arrested for the shooting death on the 7th had refused to speak to police, and more recently had fallen into a similar state. Only the portion of her memories related to Adonis have been erased. One could infer that Sugawara wasn't in Adonis's leadership corps, even if she was tied to them. Furthermore, the X-Day countdown had continued even after she was arrested. Several office workers had fallen off a rooftop on the 11th. No, someone had pushed them to their deaths. On the 15th, the Tokyo Metropolitan Office had been bombed, resulting in numerous deaths. Oh no, Akito! You still did this! But we didn't meet Akito in this path, so okay. It's okay because we don't ruin the feeling we had for Akito. So, I mean, I guess so far, I mean, yeah, there's Ogata and Rika would have kind of been a little spoilery in Enomoto, but at the same time, that wasn't his case. So his was a little spoilery for this. So, I mean, I don't know. But Sasazuko's definitely would have spoiled Enomoto's with Akito. But this doesn't mention anything about that. So in a way, you probably could have done this one first. So far. Like, I don't see anything that's coming out on this to say, you know, that's ruined anything. I mean, we would have already kind of known when Enomoto went and talked to Ogata and everything like that, but those two cases were kind of tied together a little bit if you think about it. So, I mean, either one was a little bit spoilery for the other. There's a little bit of spoilery in this and a little bit of spoilery in that for the alternate. So, I don't know. But so far, nothing in this has really totally ruined it, where if you had done it first, it would have been like, oh, because it's not ruining the plot of his. Like, his almost kind of, you already know what's going to happen in this one. Like, who did what. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know. A coin had been left at each scene, along with the Roman numeral 1. All of the incidents in December had been accompanied by the 1 countdown. I knew when the guy said, I'm hearing explosions in my head, I was like, no! Akito, you didn't! But we didn't stop him. We couldn't stop him because we haven't even met him. We don't know him in this route. We've barely even talked to our brother, so. We'd assume that Sugawara would give up some intel on Adonis if she was related to them. But she could just be a disposable pawn, and there were likely many other such agents. Investigations HQ was too unstaffed to deal with the scale and frequency of the attacks. SRCPO was being deployed in crisis mode, tasked with gathering as much information as possible. That's also kind of like we don't even see our brother or anything. So it's almost like if you did this one first, you wouldn't have met the character. Now you're like, what about our brother and Akito? Like, the Akito stuff isn't important in this route, but at least this doesn't spoil that. Sasazuka's route totally would have fucking spoiled Enomoto's. Just saw it like. We had no time to investigate past crimes, and of course, I couldn't look into removing my collar. I'm tired. Here in body, but not in spirit, eh? Oh, that was him. Here in body, but not in spirit, eh? I was figuring it was Saeki because we haven't seen him at all either. The only thing about this route so far is half of the people that we've already been friends with and known and gotten to know aren't in this route. So if you had done this one first, again, I don't know if there's more spoilery things later on, you wouldn't have met half the characters. So in a way, it's almost like doing it now. You're like, but all of our friends are like not around. We don't know our brother or Akito, but I mean, there's good things about it, and there's good things about it because like, but Saeki, you don't know him at all. Like, it stands to reason. Like, okay, we're not running into him, but we wouldn't even know that he's our pal. Really, we'd barely know. Well, we would because of the first chapter, right? But then it's like, well, what the hell happened to him? So I'm almost glad we didn't do this first because at least in Enomoto's, you saw him, blah blah blah, and like. And this one, it's just inconvenient timing, right? As opposed to, like, he's supposed to be, like, our bestie, and, like, he's never fucking around. So it's weird. Anyway. Oh, Sodaishi, what are you doing here? I'm just passing through. You are looking rather grim, so it aroused my curiosity. I love this cat-eared weirdo. I cannot fucking wait till your path, which is next, because you are, like... Okay, Okazaki is weird. He is weirder, but in the, like... You intrigue me. You're just that fucking bizarre. Although he's got a little bit of the Saint Germain weirdness in him, right? Like says strange things and oh, I'm happy all the time. It's probably because I'm giving him the Saint Germain voice treatment. But you know, like I can't really decide which one of them's weirder. Okay, no, that's a lie. Sadaishi is the weirdest motherfucking weirdo to ever weird. But that's what I like. Like you're such an oddball. I love you. Okazaki, you're like you're a little spooky and weird, and like. Sometimes I like it, and other times I don't know I don't know how to feel about you. Like, you know. But Saraishi, you're like, you could stab me and I'd totally be fine with it. Like, you're like, I'm okay. Whatever. Because you're fucking, I don't know what the deal is with you either. but you're crazy, and I like it. Anyway. It's so like you to not actually be worried about me. I can't wait till we go down his path because he's going to be that cold. He's going to have that coldness, and you're going to be like, "Do you hate me?" He's like, "No, I love you. I just like to torture you." Why am I okay with that? Any other game would not be okay with it. Here's a theory. Did someone find out? He was looking at my neck as he broached the taboo subject. I involuntarily sucked in a breath. I see I'm right. But the fact that you're still safe means they've either given you a grace period or the person who found out was allowed to know. Saraishi was lost in thought as he analyzed me. I avoided meeting his eyes. There was no point in lying to Saraishi. The best I could do was avoid telling him too much. The funny thing is, he's a cop. Not technically, I mean, he's in forensics, but he still works for the police force. But it's okay that he knows because he's technically working with Yanagi. It's very bizarre. You know what I'm saying? He is like a weird exception. Now Okazaki is a weird exception. But you look disquieted mentally. He knows that much. He's like, I just love that he's covered in cat shit. So it's like, I couldn't ask for help or even get angry. I just held my silence. Fucking tie tag as a cat. Look at that. And then he's doing that sexiness, the sexy over the shoulder. Yeah. You should visit the office for a break sometime. I'm sure Yanagi and company are feeling lonely. With that parting piece of advice, Sadaishi jauntily departed. Maybe that remark was him showing concern. He could also be telling me to consult Yanagi's team for advice. But, or telling you, like, you have to go there. With uncanny timing, a new message arrived just as I let out a deep sigh. It's from Yanagi. Can you come by the office today? We just want to ask about the July case. I had been sharing information with them since the murder started anew, but I hadn't seen them in person. Work had been too busy. To be honest, I didn't want to go to the office. There was a good chance that I'd run into Okazaki. I didn't want him to look at me with that icy stare again. But the fact that you're still safe means they've either given you a grace period, or the person who found out was allowed to know. Tadaishi's analysis had been dead on. I'd only been given a grace period. The criminal behind the collar was probably determining whether Okazaki could be trusted with the information. I can't carry this on my own anymore. I wanted to speak with people who are familiar with the situation. Understood. I'll stop by when work permits. I sent a reply and returned to my work with a heavy heart. Okazaki's point of view. Threatened. It had been a week since I'd pointed my gun at her. She didn't seem like she was acting. Her terrified eyes were still filled with emotion. Poisoned collar. I certainly wasn't expecting that. I'd figured that she had some circumstance that led her to work with IG's team. IG's team, yeah. That's what we said we were going to call it. Yeah, okay, well. Of course, I had reported her to my superiors the next day and cautiously observed her from the next few following that. But as I got to know her, all I learned was that she was someone who wasn't any real threat. She didn't show a hint of malice. There's a chance that this has been an elaborate lie from the start, but my instincts told me that it was an extremely small possibility. I knew this because we were polar opposites. Because I knew my own personality well, I was sure that she wasn't the type of person who could concoct lies easily. But that means if I were to tell a lie that hurts you, what would you do? I feel the same way. Things that I'm trying to protect are very important to me. No, you were just worried. Thank you for holding my hand. I realize that these were things that we said to him, and I'm kind of reading them in like a weird mix of both of our voices. I don't know. Okazaki, you're strong. It's his memory, right? Oh, you look so sad and pretty. She'd been saddled with a poisoned collar and threatened, and yet she had persisted in trying to solve the case and doing her police duty, and probably all while feeling a sense of guilt. I knew it once I pointed a gun at her. She hadn't tried to make any excuses. You're the strong one. Mentally, I laughed bitterly. I felt that the premonition I'd had in my mind was beginning to coalesce in reality. Listen, sir! I finally got my hands on it. Hmm? Why are you spacing out with that melancholy look? Come over here, look at this! His CGs are so quick. Like, they're just up there for like 2 seconds. Makes me sad. Ta-da! Konjaku-flavored calorie blocks. You always wanted to try them, sir. Calorie blocks? That doesn't sound like a... It's not like a protein bar, a calorie block. Yeah. Only you would ever want to eat mystery food like this. I'm glad I got it before it sold out. Yeah, nice. That was kind of weak, sir. Well then, how about this? Boom! Shinshu miso stew. I heard from people who've tried it that it's got a really intense flavor. Is that so? I'm looking forward to it. This one's no good too? Then how about my grand finale? Dun dun dun! Sea cucumber potato chips. That sounds terrible. A perfect recreation of that marine scent. Blech. Fish chips. Not fish and chips. Fish chips. Yeah, I'm always telling you this just to be clear. I don't want any of this stuff, so... Don't you force me to eat it like you always do. You better not, okay? Don't do it, bro. Thanks. I tried really hard to sell this one. The Okazaki I know just smiles without a word, and then shoves it into my mouth. What's wrong with you, sir? You're super down. What happened? I pointed a gun at a girl that I love, and I can't love her anymore because she's got a color on her. That's why she's called Oh! I just figured it out. Not me, Okazaki, right? I'm fine. Just thinking. Come over here for a second. Oh, yay, we get him again, but look at his adorable face. The giant saucer eyes. I love it. Are you sure you're all right, sir? What is it? You've been spacing out this whole time. Well, you always kind of look like that, but you just don't have your normal spirit. You're not trying to put me in a headlock. You're not eating any weird snacks. Your replies are tossed off, and you're not sleeping in the street. And most of all, you're really creepy. Or more like scary when you're not smiling. You're really creepy. He is very intense and pretty when he's like not giving you that fake grin that you're like, that's suspicious. I don't feel sick. That's not it. Man, even your comebacks are weak today. How are you feeling, lost or something? Huh? You're always so decisive, sir. I hardly ever see you wrapped up in your thoughts like this. Lost, huh? He was right. I was lost. No, not quite. I'm still deciding whether my premonition was wrong or not. What if she's my... Are you thinking about her? He's oddly sharp-witted, as always. I was impressed. What if she's my what? Okazaki, what? Okazaki, don't get... No, this could be, like, really good. Like, oh, I'm your soulmate? That's adorable. Or, like, what if she's my person I'm supposed to kill? Okazaki, what? I'm just saying, you never know with him. Having you worry about me is a little like having a severe illness. You don't have to put it that way, man. But that's more like you, sir. I'll let it slide. Sorry to make you worry. And thanks. Are you sure you don't have a fever? You can take the day off. Let me cover for you. To express my gratitude for my cheeky and endlessly amusing partner, I wrapped an arm around his neck. Sir! And then I started squeezing. Yeah, sir, you're choking me. I can't breathe. Gonna die. You'll be fine. This isn't enough to kill you, Yoshinari. Once I felt like I'd properly expressed my gratitude, I let him go. You can only take so much. Oh, hey, isn't that Miss Hoshino? Yeah, it's been a while since she came to the office. I'm sure you'll cheer up if you talk to her. Hey, Miss Hoshino. My neck's gonna snap. Again, sir. What's with all the choking? Be quiet. I will if you let me go, please. Phew. Keeping an eye on Yoshinari, I sighed and rested against the wall again. My eyes followed the path she'd taken. To think she'd come to the office even after that happened. I guess she still hasn't given up. That premonition I'd had was growing stronger. Guess I'll have to meet her and see for myself. Any suspicions I'd had that she might actually be connected to the criminals had pretty much disappeared. Her actions, reactions, and an implied thought process had been enough to demonstrate her innocence to me. I wanted to see her in person and remove my remaining doubts. I only had one premonition left. If she didn't run from me once I directly put the question to her, if she's the one, she could be the ideal person I'd been seeking. Someone I'd been seeking for a long, long time. Sounds strange. The ideal one who would grant my wish. I'm sure of it. My prediction had already become conviction. That sounds a little. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be romantic or disturbing. It's a little romantically disturbing. I don't know. But that's funny because save 5, the bad choice, he's like, if she doesn't run from me, but one of the choices is like, run from him or don't run from him. Like, so that's how you get your bad ending right there. Spoiler alert. Anyway, this is the perfect place to stop though, because we're like at time, and I guess we're not going to get our bad ending right now, but we'll probably get it in the next part because I'm assuming after we talk to them in the office, we'll go out, have our thing with Okazaki, and then he's going to kill us. Or I guess. I don't know, but we'll find out. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.